All right, a quick update. We're in about 10 minutes into the open on the 15th January. Reminder traders to use risk capital you can afford to lose if you're playing this game. Okay, we've got a gigantic thrust bar right out of the open. And we had said using the 80, 79.5 just below it, and think 75 support if we took out the 80. And the first migration we thought would be back towards the middle at 88. And anything above that, try to test that 92 high. And if we can take that out, then obviously the gap at 93.75 can get closed. And that would be closed during RTH. So for now, we've had a gigantic thrust bar without a lot of support built up. And the day is young, and we don't know whether or not we can take out the high and get that 26.06 target, or in fact we can bleed back and undermine part of this bar or even the low of it. So if you took our advice, that probably the best advice would buy for a small bounce and you get rewarded with a larger one, then that's the time that you win with trailers. No other way you can win that unless you're willing to just keep moving your stop up as a bar has shown that it's not hit any kind of resistance yet. We'd said the pivot point was back here at 80, and so we felt supportive, but you had to get above these lines right here. Remember I said we had to get above the blue and the red line and take out this 88, and then the next target, take out the 92. So we can see overnight, we're coming into an area that you really need to make sure you are paid. And probably for those of you with more than one contract, you want to hold it for a couple minutes, that's up to you. But my advice is make sure you are paid, especially if you've got multiple contracts. Scale something out and get paid there. So this is the 2-day look that we're looking at. And you can see how this next level, 96, 95 area is an important level. So for now, the boys have pulled us back into that double. It held the overnight double, which we said this is a double. Doubles come first. And obviously, the most important part of this bar is that not only did it get fast move to the 88, but blew right through, took out the overnight, and basically have rescued these traders up in here. So the best trade for the longs is already done, obviously. Even if we go another 10 points higher, the best odds trade is done to get back into that 88 to 92 test. And gravy above. And when we get these long bars like this, it's really hard to imagine going underneath them, but in time we do. In time, there's not a lot of support built up. So those of you who love the short side, don't be too aggressive. Market has already spoken right now with a third time through trade. Remember we said at 86, right now we're kind of capped there, but if we get through it, and you can see there's no resistance built up in this bar. So already there's signs of support from the big boys wanting to go upwards. And the goal for the boys today is probably to retest this 2600 plus or minus a couple of points. And until we take out the low of this first bar, this is our angel. Until we take that out, that's going to be our new support. If we take that out, then I'm going to consider this to be much more negative. And I said, this is a very sloppy type of a chart. And when we looked at the 10, we could see the power of this blue line and this as our support for now. So all I can tell you, those of you who love the short side, one day the shorts will get their dues, but we're not ready yet. And news events can change that, obviously. $97 is our demon. We have angel is born to test the demon and vice versa. Anybody that is come up and got the 95 range paid for sure. And obviously a trailer is all. And there's a good possibility that we can take out the high before we make any type of a comeback. Just a squeeze type of a trade right now. And don't forget, last week's high, right just below the overnight high. Very tricky area. Right? If you see what I'm talking about. Paid for sure. Anybody that wants to short, use 2602 for resistance. Just a couple of points. And you're in a risk to make to environment, really. And there is no evidence yet of a demon, obviously. We're just at a psychological resistance zone. And I think today, maybe later, they'll try to bust that. They may even do it during IB. But for now, make sure you're paid. I said today, first things first, the longs have to get it above 92, right? Because that was yesterday's RTH. So right now, I'm thinking that that 92 is going to be a key. And if we break that, then we open the door again to test that 88 area. Remember the scene of the crime. 88.75, we're calling that 89 area. Do not be a pig on the short side right now. If you played hit and run on the upside, you should be taking profits. If you're trying to scalp short, there's no evidence of anything that a big trade is coming back to undermine this. So I would be very conservative about your expectations. And I said that earlier both ways. I'm still conservative in my expectations. This is a very strange market. And don't forget, we're in options expiration. So keep that in mind as part of the problem right now. And if you are a chaser today, if you missed the long side and you love the long side now, be conservative about your stops. Don't just throw a trade on with the idea that you're going to join the winning team here and that's that. So this is the scene of the crime in yesterday's high RTH. So for now, that's a very important neighborhood. It's going to take time for this to cool off. I don't think we're going to get a round tripper, that's for sure. Not in 2 minutes. So the assumption, we've now got a few trap shorts to be squeezed. If you like the short side, certainly better odds shorting from up here than shorting close to the gap down here. But I think the trap short's part of the problem now, so you cannot expect a lot. It's going to take time. And if you are sidelined right now, that's okay too. because you either had this trade and said, yeah, I'm going to play back towards the middle, and you got good fortune, or you didn't. So if you missed everything, just stay sidelines for a few minutes.